Hey guys, and how's it going? Hey, I got a chance to go do a little bit of yard sailing this weekend, and that's probably only second or third time this year that I've gotten out. And I did fairly well, so I figured I'd go turn the camera on and we'll go make a yard sale video and maybe a will it run on something towards the end of it. So, without further ado, let's get into it and see what we got. So I guess we'll work from right to left. And rakes, $5 for 3 rakes. Ended up getting a Red Max hedge trimmer, gas powered. And at a different yard sale, I got another Red Max backpack leaf blower. As far as the leaf blower goes, he said that someone was doing work on the property and then left it behind and it sat there ever since, and that was about 15 years ago. He kind of thinks it was left there because it was so trashed that it wasn't worth taking anymore. So who knows what the issues are with that. I think I paid $10 for it. It wasn't much. I see wires ripped out of it, and who knows what's kind of going on with it. So that's going to need some love, whether we look at this one at the end of the video or not, I'm not sure. The hedge trimmer, not sure what is happening with that, as he's got tape around different components and all. Again, it seems like it's something that was left for dead, and if I didn't buy it for $5, it was probably going to get thrown out at the end of the yard sale anyway. So maybe we'll grab one of these two to go do a little bit of a autopsy and possibly will it run on the end. Then I found a antique outboard, and it says Champion Motor Company. I don't know if that's Champion like in Sparkplug Champion, or is it just another one of the outboard companies, that major outboard companies, and then somebody else put their name on it. Again, no history on it, who knows. He said he bought it at a yard sale a long time ago, and then it hung in his garage for 30 some odd years. So that's going to need some love, and who knows on that one. We'll probably make that one a separate video though, because they can be somewhat intense as far as how much work they need. Then I grabbed some, not stained glass, but leaded glass panels. There's 2 of them, one with a frame and one without. I just thought they were really cool. It's the real deal. They are individual pieces of glass that are leaded into a frame. And they were $15 for the set of them. I'd say they were probably 30 by 50 dimension wise, 30 by 48 maybe. Why'd I grab them? I don't know. They just look cool. Let me back up here for a second. Then this piece is a VW roof rack, but it is an old school one. It's an original one. I don't think Volkswagen ever really made a roof rack. There's probably an external company that did so, but it is definitely looks like it's from the 60s, I would guess. Could be even earlier than that. What's nice about it is it has a tag on it. Then looking later, we see a made in Germany, and then it's got a VW logo right there. But again, I don't think the factory of logo made it. The factory of VW made it. I think it was an external company in Germany that did that. Yeah, not sure. This came from, actually, with a couple of other pieces that I'll show you in a second. We believe it is a old oil rack. You would have put the oil bottles on it, and back in the day, you buy a thing of oil and you dump it in, the bottle would return. They would refill it back up. It has some kind of writing on it. I can't tell what it says. The first word, that looks like Motors. I don't know what it says on the end. Company? Something Motors Company is my guess. And you guys want to freeze that and figure out what it is. Let me flip it over. I think there's some writing on the other side too. And I actually got this thrown in. That's what it was. I got this thrown in with the VW rack. The rack I paid up for pretty good. I paid, he wanted $350. I offered $2. I said $350 is kind of getting steep on it. He came back with $250, and I said, well, how about $250 and you throw this in? So I paid $250 for the rack and this piece right here. So again, I'm not sure what that first word is. If you could figure it out. The outboard was, I think it was $20. I don't know if I said earlier, hedge trimmer was $5, and I think the backpack blower was $10. And then we got these guys. All right, before we get to them, hold on. We'll go scope down here. Got a couple of memorabilia plaques. They are from when you joined AAA. I think it was the 60s also. and you would put these on your license plate, and it meant that you were a member of AAA. A lot of times, like I have one that's actually on the back of Krusty, and it will give it the town that you're in. This one doesn't seem to say that, it just says AAA. Actually it's ALA. What is ALA? Automotive Legal Association. I'm not quite sure. The other one I think is just AAA that I have on the back of there. So grab the set of those, and at the same place, same pick, was this funky stoplight that says stop on it. I'm figuring that's off a school bus. It has that kind of look to it. Alright, and these guys both came from the same place. They are a couple of ratty pedal cars. They kind of have a face on them, don't they? They look like they're the same body of pedal car, and then they kind of switched it around. Of course, this one is a fire engine, and then the other one looks like it's a dump truck. It has a little bed setup that went into the back of them. You gotta go see from here. Yeah, City Fire Department, that one says, and this one says dump truck, jet flow drive, heavy duty. The wheels are pretty beat on all of them. You can tell they definitely sat out in the yard somewhere. I kind of actually like it. I like the beat up rustiness look to them. They would actually probably look pretty good on the rack and going to a show. This was a kid's electric scooter or trike. It is battery powered. I just like the look of it, and grabbed this. It was cheap, $5-10 I think it was. I just thought it was cool looking. Those were 30 a piece they were asking. I offered 50 for the pair. He said no problem. That's all. Those and the rack came from the same location. So first I bought those. Then I bought another piece that you haven't seen yet. And then we walked to another house after asking him, do you have any other automotive stuff around? He came up with that and the rack at a different house about 2 houses away that he also owned up inside the attic of the barn. So that was pretty cool. We got some fishing poles. I think they were 20 bucks a piece. You know what they're for. Self-explanatory. These were thrown in with those pieces over there, the ALA decals and the stoplight work. These are just the chrome pieces that go around where the fenders are to block them front and rear. So these just goes on the end of the fenders of the running board to spiff up the look of a Beetle. And they were thrown in. This is a backpack. This is going to go in a different video. I grabbed this later on for a trailer project. And then I grabbed this hood. This hood was also the same place where the roof rack was. It was up in the, actually in the shed out back that was rotten, falling apart. The hood is kind of beat. I don't think it would ever go on a car again. It's all rotted out on the edges. But the hood ornament just looked really cool on it. A little missile set up on there. And then the globe on the front with the Oldsmobile written on it. So I may keep those. I may just also take the whole hood at my house and put it above the garage door, the little side entry door, and see if we can use it for like a little weather shed on there. You can see the corners are just blown out on it. They're just gone. There's really nothing left. Sat on the ground way too long. Well, it's cool looking again. The hood was 30 bucks. So essentially I paid 30 bucks for that funky hood ornament and the one on the front of it. I like it. All right, did we cover everything? Now maybe we can go get into a little bit closer analysis on something. Let's go see what the hedge trimmer has to offer. I don't know why it has a rope on it. Maybe if you were climbing up a ladder, you would tie that to your belt or something. I know they do that with chainsaws. See tape on the handle holding that together. Get down here. It definitely looks like it's seen some work in its life. Let's see if we can figure out how to get that in a vise and we'll start getting into it. Let's give her a couple of tugs to see if it. Seems like it's decent compression. Let's get the plug out of it and we'll see if it has any spark. Oof. Yeah, it's pretty cruddy. built up. Let's see if it has any spark though. We need to be able to ground it on something though that is metal. Maybe that screw right there. And that's on. Let's see what we get. Oh yeah, good. Let's go clean that plug up a little bit. We'll put a little dribble of fuel in there and give it a fire over, see what she does. Let's go give her a little. That might be a little too much. Choke is in the open position right now. And let's just see what we get. We'll give her some throttle too. We're also going to look at, if you can see it, yeah. Let's see what these guys do also. Oops. Try that again. So we'll think it'll run. Again, that didn't move at all, but that's okay for now. We didn't get any revs out of it neither. Generally, there's a clutch down below. You have to get it spinning up to a certain RPM. Plus, these look like they are really gummed up. We'll spray them down with some oil of some sort. Free them up. So what we get for an air cleaner. I doubt very much that we're just going to be able to put fuel in it and have it run. I don't know what your opinion is of that. We could try it. I have a feeling we are going to have issues with the diaphragm in the carburetor being petrified rock. Let's go take a look inside. See what we got. We'll give a little tug on the fuel lines. A lot of times they rot out too. So I'm just looking down inside the jug there. We're just trying to see if they break off or if they're okay. Yeah, it's looking pretty squishy right there. You want to try dump some fuel in it and just give her a couple of primes? I know we're going to dig into the carb anyway, but yeah, let's go put some gas in it and see what we get. Did you guys watch Terrell's video of what ethanol fuel does to carburetors over time? I think it's about 2 weeks old right now. It's a good video. He did it goes over 19 months. A bunch of different fuel additives to fuel with ethanol in it, and also used just gas by itself with no ethanol in it. And can you guess what the outcome of it was? Definitely all the additives for the most part didn't do much of anything. They all failed over time, and the fuel that was just straight gas, which I think was a premix like this in a can with no ethanol fuel, is what held up the best and continued to work. All right, we got choke on. Let's have a primer bulb on this one. Some do, some don't. Yeah, it is. It's on the side right here. You got fuel going around. And again, usually what happens is, especially if you run ethanol fuel, there's a diaphragm inside the carburetor that needs to be able to flex and move. Kind of works like a float chamber, but it ends up getting so stiff it doesn't move anymore. And I have a feeling we'll probably be getting into that. But let's see what we get. Yeah, wants to go. Let's give her a little bit of air. Gentle throttle. Throttle's not hooked up. It does work though. Make a liar out of me, huh? I did not expect it to go off and take off. Again, sometimes, like, if this stuff is a little on the better end. It's kind of like what a landscaper would use. What's it made? Made in Japan instead of China. It's a better quality piece of equipment. So landscapers pretty much have the answer. I shouldn't say that. Landscapers have the wherewithal to kind of watch what they run for their fuel. A lot of times they're able to get non-ethanol fuel and they mix their own. So that might have been a saving grace of that. All right, we get the throttle hooked up again. And we go pop you back in the stand. We'll fire it up again and we will spray some lube on the bar. That's what you would use on a chainsaw. I'm going to put it on here. Figure it's the same idea almost, right? Just let that kind of soak in. Right. Let's fire it up again. Let her do her thing. Hopefully. No choke? Let's try no choke. That's a good $5 purchase, I'd say, huh? Worked out pretty good. It's good because this is the one I need. I got some work around the house to go take care of. I'm gonna go clean that air cleaner real quick. We'll throw that back on there. I am not going to pull that carburetor apart because it doesn't hesitate, it doesn't bog. I am going to leave well enough alone. Now, if I said it was going to run fine, it wouldn't have, right? Look at all that pop back on there. I think we're going to go call this one a win just like it is. Really nothing to adjust really on this. It's fairly simple. Maybe we could flip it over. We'll pop that. We'll pop the bottom of that little gearbox off. We'll see what's in there, how that works, and we'll go from there. Yeah, the clutch would be up inside this, but this would just be like a offset or a knuckle or crankshaft. Turns circular motion into reciprocal. I'm curious to see what it looks like. Let's see what we get. Yeah, it's a little tiny crankshaft and a big old dauber of grease. That's supposed to keep everything packed in. That actually looks pretty good. Let me, I don't want to start it. Maybe we'll give her a couple of cranks. Actually, it's not going to turn because it's got to have some higher RPM to be able to do so. Yeah, it's not going to work for us. But essentially, the clutch looks like a mini bike clutch or chainsaw clutch. Grabs on the other side that has an output of that gear. Looks like it runs another gear behind. And then spins that. Maybe a little bit of motion out of it. Which turns the crankshaft. And I'm blocking it with my hand when I'm. There you go. You can see the motion that it does. Uh-oh! Now I did it. Now you're going to see more of it. That's connecting rod. And whatever we just flung off of that, I got to go get and put back on. Might be able to see it a little bit better. I got one of them removed. You can see there's a lower and an upper. So I've had it before where one just stays stationary and the other one moves. This one appears that both of them, you go to turn it, both of them turn opposite of each other. Right now they're fixed, but see how this one can move by itself. And then the one underneath it turns. Probably so it doesn't shake it out of your hand, right? Because you figure if you're up against a brush, you kind of want to work like a pair of scissors. When you're working a pair of scissors, both blades are moving, not just the one when you're cutting something, so you kind of stay in the middle of it. You know what I mean? All right. I'm going to go take a minute, my greasy fingers, put that back together. Gonna leave it packed just like it was. Just throw those screws right back in. Really a pretty simple machine. Let's tighten that plug up. Did clean it, by the way. Does not have a very good base for clamping. Let's go fire it up one more time, just make sure she's doing what she should. No choke. Even the mix sounds pretty good too. A little on the rich side, which is what you want on 2-stroke. Run them lean, they'll burn up. But we're gonna go call that one a win. We're just gonna leave it well enough alone. We're gonna go clean it up and go do some hedges. All right, next patient. Let's go see what makes this thing tick and have a little fun with it. I have no idea. We figure it's got a battery in it somewhere. That was a charger for it. And we think somewhere back here would be a way to access said battery. What does that do? I feel like I'm getting kind of personal with it. Looks like I should just flip open. I don't want to break it. Might be a screw right there. It actually kind of looks like, I took a peek behind here, there's nothing, there's no opening back there. So I don't know, here we go. What do you do, line batteries up in that? No. Gotta back you up a little bit, get the whole thing in. We're in. Wanna go see? There's no batteries in it. A couple of wires. A fuse. There's a motor and a gear back there. Let's go get like a 12-volt battery. We'll hook power to it and see what it does. Now this guy should do it. I don't know about polarity. We're gonna go red to red, but usually you see a fuse on the hot side. It could be that side. I don't know. We're gonna wing it. My guess it'll just spin the wheels backwards. Yeah. Just give her a little nothing. I wonder if there's any button you gotta hit to make it go other than that? Or does that even make it go? Ah! The pedal. And it's going backwards. Is there backwards and forwards? Now let's go swap them around. Kind of like what I figured. The fuse is on the hot side, right? Make sure it goes forward. You see? How many volts do you think it is? That's 12. Let's go see what 24 does. Alright, so we got the ground there and the hot there. Now we're going to hook the ground of the battery up to the hot there. That should be 24 volts. You think the shifter does forward and reverse? Let's go try it. Yeah, there you go. So it was right to begin with. Yeah. Yeah. Reverse. At what point, at what voltage do you think it fails? Smoke comes out. Try that. 36 volts. Don't let those two touch. They'll weld. Uh-oh. That's about all we got. She did something. I don't know if we probably blew a fuse, maybe? Yeah, probably popped the fuse. Gotta know when your limits are, right? Let's just do this. Stinking fuse. Come back. Nope. Might have smoked it. You just had to take it to the limit, didn't you? Yeah, hook power right to the motor, and the motor's not doing anything now. Oh well, still looks cool. Well guys, just a quick little video of the yard sale stuff, and you know, we did a little wheelet run. It was kind of easy. We didn't have to do anything to it other than put gas in it, essentially. And so at some point we'll get to these other ones. I got a couple of outboards to go attack, and we'll do them on a separate date. And the backpack blower definitely looks like it needs a bunch of love. I think that one's going to be a little bit more intense. We'll probably do that one maybe on a separate video too. But for now, we'll just give this a little quickie video. We'll throw this one up probably in the middle of the week and leave the longer wrenching videos for the weekend. Yeah, these are pretty cool. I've never seen a dump truck set up one before. Fire trucks, you know, that was really common when I was a kid growing up. Would have had ladders on the side of it. I would think that. Let's go see what roughly. Put the tailgate to it too, so that would lock in those pins when it's bent out straight. Sits there. Probably had a lever that went up front. That's probably what that lever is there. For a tilt that dumped the bed. Got neat graphics on it. That's pretty cool. It looks like a bunch of the pieces that would have, you could tell what's missing. It still would be the windshield, and I don't know if the fire truck would have had a bell on it. Maybe they had something else on the front of it. But again, they look pretty cool. My thought is either just use them as yard art, or maybe we'll make them into something. They're pretty rough to restore, you know. I don't know what the value of them is, but they're definitely different. All the tires are gone. Rotted right off. The rims are rotted out. That's how it's sat outside someplace for a long time. Where do you think that went? On the inside or the outside? There's a hole there, a hole there. So my guess, I don't know if it'd be left-handed or right-handed. There, and that lever, I don't know if you can see it. These rivets are all gone on the side, but that would have connected to there. I guess the lever would hang off to the side, or would have been right here on this end. You would have hit that, and it would have allowed it to dump. Pretty cool. that face. Alright guys, I'm done playing. For today anyway. We'll do it again soon. Take care. Later. And back behind my bus, this is what I was thinking it was the AAA one. I said the ALA. I haven't seen them before. Yeah, it's pretty cool. We'll throw this one on the other side maybe.